Gentlemen, howdy, it is your boy, Rowdy McDowdy here, and this is my new gaming office. For those of you who don't know, I actually moved into this place last week, and as of yesterday, I finally got my setup functionally complete. So now that I'm in a new place, I figured it is the best time to do a setup video. I wanted to do a setup video at my previous place, but unfortunately I just didn't have time to do it. I had a lot of stuff to move, it was pretty crazy, and I just couldn't fit it into anything. So we're doing it now, and you guys get to see it all nice and clean before it starts getting filthy with gamer gunk and is never this clean again. Now, I was thinking about waiting until the entire office is done and decorated before I do a tour, but I figured that's probably still gonna be a few more months down the line. And if I wasn't doing YouTube or anything like that, then this would be my ideal setup. I would be totally fine with it, wouldn't change a thing. But my goal with this office space is to turn it into a sort of gaming slash office slash studio kind of setup. And I really want this wall over here to be a nice backdrop for streams and videos. And obviously, if I'm going to be streaming and making videos, I need to have a microphone and I need to have pretty good lighting for that. Right now, the lighting in this room is absolutely terrible, as you could probably tell. But over time, we are going to work on it and make some major improvements. But right now, everything that I actually need is all here and up and running. So I would consider this setup functionally complete. So we'll be going over the sim racing setup. We'll go over everything on the desk, my PC hardware, and as far as like the rest of my office and everything else that I use, we'll just go ahead and skip that part from this video and we'll save it for the complete office tour. That'll probably be coming later on this year or probably early next year, depending on how long it takes me to set it all up. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we get started on the desk, I just wanted to remind y'all that I'm only working with very suboptimal lighting here, so it's not going to look the best on camera right now, but like I said, once this wall is nice and decorated, then it'll be a little bit more presentable. Just to make the video faster, I'll put all the specs of the PC right here on the screen. As far as the case goes, I kind of like the low profile design of the case. It's more of like a stealth design. It doesn't scream gamer right at your face, which I'm not really into the tacky gamer styled products that are on the market these days. And yes, that is a Blu-ray drive right there, which I use for ripping my DVDs and Blu-rays. Very useful to have. This is my phone, which I'm actually using hotspot on it because I don't have wired internet just yet. And up here is probably the worst pair of headphones in existence. These are the Astro A50s, and these things are absolute trash for the price they are. So this is something I absolutely don't recommend people buy. They are very comfortable, I gotta give them that, but the base station is junk, the sound quality is pretty mid, and it is definitely not worth the price point. They are good looking though, I gotta give them that, but I mean, that's all they're getting out of me. Junk. If you guys have any awesome quality headphones out there that have multiple ports on the back so I can listen to my PS5 and my PC at the same time, put it in the comments, let me know, and a high quality onboard mic will be a huge bonus as well. So let me know what you guys use and let me know what you guys recommend. Get this standard office chair out of the way. Nothing really special about it. I think it's just like a Walmart chair. But in fact, this is way better than the chair that I had before. Before I had one of those typical standard bucket seats that are made for gamers, and it was terrible. It started to rip on me like in the first couple months, and then it started peeling about a year later. Terrible, terrible chair. So I'm just gonna be using this one for the time being until I get something nice like a Herman Miller or something like that. Now let's go over the desk. This is a corner desk. I think it's from Office Depot or something like that. It is a hand-me-down. I did not buy this, I was given it. It's not exactly like straight to the corner. This side is a little bit shorter than this side. And I decided to put the PC over on this side because whenever I'm streaming at the rig, I would like to be able to have a view of my PC right there. And this tower is so deep that it's going to be taking up all this right here. And then I will not be able to see my closest monitor, which would be a problem. So even though I have limited space right here, that's why I put everything on this side, just so I have extra room. And you could also see on the inside of it right there. So, very nice desk indeed. I have a lot of room. I would like to push the monitors a bit further back, but unfortunately with the way these work, it's just like this is pretty much where I'm gonna have to keep them. It also has several drawers, which I'm not going to open because there's stuff inside. And I have this ancient piece of technology right here. So this is called a printer. And if we open it up, pull this out, you will see that there is this stuff called paper. And printers actually put words onto this paper. I don't know, it's like wild ancient technology. I'm sure very few people will know what this thing is. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, let's move on to the monitors. So on the sides, they are 27-inch Samsung curved monitors. They are 1080p 60 hertz. And in the middle is a 4K 144 hertz Asus ROG monitor. I will have the exact models on the screen. This monitor though is very disappointing to say the least though. Not only is this gross and tacky kind of gamer styling for a monitor, which I really don't like, I've had a whole lot of issues with this monitor. One time I had a power outage, and by the time the power came back on, this thing would be going into a boot loop. So the screen would be turning off and turning on and turning off and turning on over and over and over and over again. I sent it out for warranty repair. It took them a month to get it back to me, and then whenever I got it back, it was still doing it. But for some reason, no reason at all, it randomly fixed itself, and now it's no longer boot looping. Moving on, we have the Corsair K100 RGB Platinum. This is the previous generation of the RGB Platinum. And I do have plans on changing this out. I mean, the key feel isn't the best thing in the world. They're Cherry MX Brown switches, and they feel kind of sticky, like not tactile, like that's the point of the MX Brown switches, but they actually feel kind of like sticky, and the keycaps are very loosey-goosey, which I'm not a fan of. I hate loose keycaps. I don't know if nice keycaps are really a thing, ones that don't weeble wobble all over the place like this, but I do have plans on upgrading to a better keyboard, and I absolutely cannot live without a full-size keyboard. Not having this stuff is okay. Not having a numpad is like torture. Also, macro keys on the side are a nice bonus. So it's probably going to be a custom built PC. If I can get a full size setup with nice and tight keycaps with a thocky kind of key feel, that's what I'm going for. All the keyboards that I see like that are the mini versions, and I need my buttons. I need more buttons. So moving on, we have the Logitech G604. G, random numbers and letters everywhere. This is a very good mouse. I've had some very bad mouses in the past. This one is actually pretty solid. You have 6 programmable buttons on the side that are really easy to press. Your thumb sits right on it. It's not uncomfortable. Feels really nice in the hand. That is something I would recommend. Moving over, we have this. I just keep random tools and supplies in here. So there are 2 types of monsters in this world. The monster who invented the Phillips head, and the monsters who standardized it. Worst bit on the planet. Anyway, rant over. I also have a pocket knife in here because you always need a knife for something. Just got this thing from Walmart. It is kind of, I do need to clean it up. I've been opening a ton of boxes with it these past few weeks. Decent tool to have. Up next is the PS5. Not much to be shown here, except for the fact that because I have the Astro headset, get this thing out of the way. Other than the fact that because I have the Astro headset, there is a adapter down here if I can find it. Okay, unfortunately it's in between all those cables there, but essentially in order to listen to audio on my PS5 and the PC at the same time, I need to use an optical cable that goes from that adapter over on the PS5 all the way back here. So basically the adapter splits the HDMI signal into a HDMI and optical audio out, and that thing cost me 40 bucks. So the amount of money I had to spend on the headset, plus another 40 on top of that, just to listen to PS5 audio and listen to Spotify at the same time. Junk, garbage, don't buy it. Oh yeah, and that adapter randomly broke on me one time for no reason. So yeah, I've actually had to spend $80 on this stuff that I should have never had to pay for in the first place. Thank you, Astro. Thank you so much for taking my money, bastards. Swiftly moving on, we have a Audio-Technica AT2020 with a dead cat for wind and popping noises. And the mic arm is just some like triple arm stand thing that I got on Amazon. There's one arm for a microphone, there's one arm for something else, I forgot what it's for exactly, and then there's another one which I can attach that light to, but once you get too much weight on it, then it starts to wobble around a little too much, which not really a fan of. And I absolutely have to keep the mic stand separate from the rig, otherwise you're going to be hearing like vibrations and bumps through it. So the mic, even though it's kind of like weeble wobbling everywhere, is eventually attached to the desk and not the rig. I do want to upgrade the mic into like a more directional mic because this one picks up a little bit too much noise from everywhere. And I've seen some streamers have their mic like way out here, aimed directly at their face, but it sounds crystal clear as if I was talking like this far away from this one. I gotta do some research into microphone stuff, but eventually that will be greatly improved. Onto the rig. This is a SimLab GT1 Evo, which I have an affiliate link to in the description if you guys are interested. Very solid rig. It handles the GT Pro really nice. I only have 2 accessories for it, which is the keyboard tray and the mouse pad, also from SimLab. The wheel and the wheelbase is the Gran Turismo DD Pro from Fanatec. Now, yes, everybody has their issues with Fanatec these days. They have a lot of massive drama and stuff, but I like the product. I talked shit about them in the past, but I bought it anyways because I tried the product, I like the product, and well, we're rolling with it now, so deal with it. GTD Pro pedals, I think it's just like regular CSL pedals. I don't have a load cell on the back of the brake. I actually prefer it that way. I don't have any other rims for it just yet, but I do plan on getting some. This keyboard is a Razer Synosa Pro. I forgot what this keyboard is called. It's from Razer. It's one of my old keyboards. It still works, so I still use it. It is a membrane switch, which I actually kind of prefer for video sake, even though it feels really cheap and sticky and yucky, but it works, and I don't see the point in dumping more money on a different keyboard just for this reason. The seat is just some knockoff Integra seat that I got on eBay. I think it was like 180 bucks. Well, actually, it's probably less than that because my whole first DIY rig cost 200 bucks, but pretty cheap on eBay. Still works pretty good, even though like the back kind of flexes a little more than I would like. But other than the material being a little bit itchy, I've had no reason to upgrade it, so still works great after 4 years. Down here I have the Fanatec shifter, which is very sketchily mounted down here. These are the only 2 bolts that are holding it in, so it does kind of flex a little bit. I have an Elgato Stream Deck, which I am also not really a fan of Elgato as a company or their products. I kind of impulse bought this thing a long time ago, never really used it, but now if I'm going to start streaming more often, then it is actually probably a good excuse to use it. Now, as far as what it's sitting in, this is actually a 3D printed mount that a buddy of mine made, so I will link his Etsy store in the description. Fits extremely snug in there, really nice and sleek, attaches right to the Fanatec shifter. And I also got the cup holder from his store as well. This little mark didn't come from him, that was actually me just mounting it in a shitty spot right next to my keyboard tray. So the keyboard tray would swing out and then pinch it right here. So yeah, that's my fault. Just try to ignore that. Oh, and shout out to Gorilla Mind. Great shit. I'm not being paid to promote this or anything. I just really like it. Good stuff. Highly recommend it. Amazon link will be in the description if they have an Amazon link for this stuff. And to wrap it up, this monitor is a Samsung blah 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 blah, and it is 1440p 144 hertz, which is attached to the wall back here with some kind of Amazon wall mount thing. Link in the description. Yes, you probably have seen the cable mess back here. I haven't been able to tidy this up. Some of the cables are actually a little bit too short. But once I get more things finalized, then I will start zipping things down permanently. I kind of do want to paint the walls in here at some point, so I don't want to make everything too permanent. But as far as everything that I need to make videos, everything is pretty much good to go. And so that'll be it for the setup tour today. This is pretty much everything I'm going to be using to make videos for the next few months. Eventually it will look a lot nicer in here, but ideally I kind of like this setup. I'm not a huge fan of like RGB lighting everywhere and stuff like that. So if I wasn't making YouTube videos, it would probably stay like this forever. Maybe a couple more gadgets here and there, and maybe a few less gadgets, like I wouldn't need a stream deck in that case. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of it, and let me know any ideas that you have for the office in general, because I would love to hear them. You're probably better at designing things than I am, to be honest. Like I said before, if you're interested in any of the products, most of them will be linked in the description below. Most of them will be affiliate links, so you will be supporting me and the channel as well at no extra cost to you. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.